what you need to know. Queen of Swords, like this is a time for you to really just focus on yourself and to have your guard up with people, because if you don't, you're going to get taken advantage of, most likely for what you have. The people getting advantage of, taken from them, are the ones that I feel like are unstable. So there's a lot of like sociopaths and just people that are pretentious that are going to want to take advantage of you. And if you have your boundaries up, then you'll already see it coming, or you will prevent yourself from getting taken advantage of. But it's more about only putting time and effort and energy into the people that put time, effort, and energy into you. So yeah, I keep waiting to see a question in the chat, and I haven't seen one as of yet, so I'll just go ahead and pull a basic spread and see what you guys need to know. So what do you need to know? What's important at this point in time? We have strength. Yeah, you're basically someone who's really strong. You've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. Some of you have been ganged up on. You've had to like deal with a lot of trauma and just issues on your own, maybe even having like minimal support. And as unfortunate as that is, it just shows you like how truly resilient you are as a person. And then we have transform. So right now you're in the process of transforming. So if you've been feeling weird, or you just feel like out of place, or if you feel like you don't really understand what's going on, it is because of the fact that you're going through some sort of transformation. Like you're changing from within. So I feel getting to know parts of yourself that you didn't know. So don't be surprised if you figure out that you might be good at a certain skill that you were unaware of. Don't be surprised if, you know, certain blessings start to come in your way, certain pathways, because this is the time where you are manifesting new things. You're transforming, which means like your reality is changing as well. What else do you need to know? We have listen. So this is a time to listen rather than like speak without really thinking things through. Like be aware of just like lashing out at people and like taking your anger out on the ones that it's not meant for. But really listen. If you want to know about someone, just listen. Just hear them talk. They will tell on themselves more often than not. And also you need to kind of listen to the cues that you're being given. Self-worth seems to be a theme that's heavy right now. So doing things that enhance your self-worth, making decisions that don't harm your self-worth. Like don't allow someone to put you in a love triangle situation. Don't allow anybody to take advantage of you. Don't allow a person to like triangulate you. If someone is wishy-washy and inconsistent with you, that means they don't want you. That's like bottom line. Inconsistency means they don't want you. So don't waste your time like wondering what ifs. You know, does this person like me? Are they into me? You will know if someone's into you because they will put in that time, effort, and energy. They won't leave you guessing and wondering. Yeah, there can be like miscommunication and things that can come up. Like some people, like people are busy at times. Like they just have certain things that they need to take care of. But someone that's truly into you will make time for you regardless of what's on their plate. Like they'll make sure that you know that you're a priority. Anything else that you need to know? We have Three of Pentacles. Work seems to be a theme. Some of you could be really heavily focused on work, heavily focused on money, on resources. Collaborations are what's coming up. But yeah, Eight of Pentacles again. Both of these are work cards. So either you're wanting some sort of promotion, career, you want a new job, or a lot of your time, energy, and effort is going towards work because you're trying to get your money up. I mean, yeah, the economy is kind of weird with inflation and everything going on. It's kind of putting more pressure on everyone. But as far as I'm concerned, like be aware of like betrayals, people stabbing you in the back, people taking advantage of you, people not really knowing what they want and hurting you indirectly, because at times like some people just don't know what they want out of life, or they don't know what they want out of a connection or relationship, and they feel like, well, we can just go slow and see where this is going. But if you know what you want, don't get entangled with somebody else who's in the process of figuring it out, unless you have enough self-control to know that anything that happens is simply going to be your responsibility to deal with, from what I'm seeing. So let's take a look and see what else do you guys need to know. The World. Some of you are meant to have social media platforms. You're meant to be seen. You're meant to travel. You have a certain gift or skill set that's going to get you to the point of where you're world renowned, or it's going to get you to the point of where you travel and you teach the skill set to other people. But you do need to make sure that you're investing in your goals and dreams, in your aspirations. If you want to be a content creator and make money at home, like, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to basically show support of that? Like, you can't just manifest things and expect it to fall on your lap. You need to have some sort of follow through. Like, you need to be able to take practical steps every day, even if it's in the most minute ways, to get what it is that you desire. Because a lot of you watching are, and your energy signature is different. Like, you're different from the people around you. A lot of you are like earth angels, star seeds. Like, yes, you may look like a regular person and human being, but your DNA codons, your energy signature is different from a lot of the people around you. Like, you have a lot more influence than you realize. Just by you changing yourself, you influence other people to change themselves. And some of you like have this gift of like being able to astral travel, or you get like out of body experiences that show you that, you know, you're somebody who is an angelic being. You could be from somewhere else. Andromeda, Sirius. You could be someone that has like the Anunnaki bloodline. You could be like an ancient Sumerian. You'll know if this is you because you've always had that inkling that you were just different. People treat you a certain way that they don't treat, you know, other people. And essentially, what I'm seeing is like, okay, one thing about me too, there's something different about like my blood, my muscle structure. Like, I heal from things a lot faster than most people. I heal from surgeries way quicker than other people. It's probably the same thing with a majority of you as well. Your blood is like potent. It's it's basically like the elixir. Anyone that you're around, that's around you, people that you sleep with sexually, they basically feed off of your energy. And you can even help someone heal from their health issues by simply being connected to you, because this is like part of the basic, it's kind of like a superpower that you have, but you reincarnated in this lifetime with these gifts, and these gifts are only given to people that are deserving, or that are of royalty, or that have a specific mission that helps human beings ascend. So you've gone through certain trials and tribulations that really cannot be explained, or just have been very traumatic to you. But if you've noticed, after these trials and tribulations, and after you overcome them, you become stronger. You become more resilient. Like, you start to have more knowledge, more wisdom. You start to have more power within yourself. I've noticed that I can control a lot of things that may seem far-fetched. If I cry, the weather changes and it starts raining. If I become angry, I go outside and it sometimes is even windy. It could be certain things like that that you may notice. If you want to change your environment and you just think about it, you come back the next week and whatever it is that you thought about, you manifested it somehow. So don't doubt yourself, because it is saying the past is in the present. So right now what's going on is like there's like a collision of dimensions happening. It could be caused by CERN, which is I don't know if they're a nuclear research facility, if that's what I would even call it, but they do have this machine called the Large Hadron Collider, which is in Geneva, Switzerland. It's about like 17 miles in circumference. So it's a big machine. And what they do with this machine is try to open up portals. And whatever CERN's been doing has been affecting the space-time continuum as of the last like 4 or 5 years specifically. But it has been ever since 2016, from what I'm seeing, from when they turned that machine on, because it was completed in 2015. You can look this up yourself. It's literally known fact that the Large Hadron Collider affects our world. It sometimes even opens up portals and black holes, and then that in turn affects our planet. And you get symptoms of like the Mandela effect, where one half of the planet remembers a memory or a situation one way, and then the other half remembers it from a different timeline. So there's a lot going on cosmically, and this in turn affects humans. So some people are ascending, other people are descending. The ones that are choosing to be in that low vibration, they're choosing greed, lust, temptation, limited mindsets, refusing to progress, refusing to invest in their spirituality. Like, they're staying in the 3D. Meanwhile, if you're choosing higher consciousness, if you're choosing to vibrate in love, if you're choosing gratitude every day, wake up and be grateful for the small things that you have: internet, food, water, shelter, Wi-Fi, the phone that you're watching this on. Like, you really have to start being grateful for those small things, because that's how you increase your vibration, and that's how you're able to manifest even more on top of it. So let me get another deck. That way we can get some additional messages. Because on the back of this man here, like, look, this is Earth, right? And then there's this huge planet in the back of it. And for me, for some reason, this to me feels like Planet X, Nibiru. I think NASA refers to it as Planet 9, and they basically talk about how it's a thought about planet, like it doesn't really exist. But if you look and you do your research, you'll know that, yeah, Nibiru. So there's a lot of like things controlling our environment, our universe, and all you have to do is just tap into that energy. Like, you can't allow yourself to be so limited. So what I noticed about the United States, what makes the United States so harmful in comparison to other countries, is that they put fluoride in the water of the United States, and that puts everyone in this like trance-like state, because fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is also what gives you that connection to God. It gives you that connection to source. I, for one, am like a foreigner, so I also feel like this is why I'm awake more than majority of people, is because even though I reside in the U.S., this is not where I'm originally from, so I'm able to see things from a different perspective. Like, I am not indoctrinated in the same way that the citizens that have been there are, right? So that's one thing that they do to try to keep people from waking up, because they don't want you to realize that you do have this potential. Another thing they'll do is chemtrails. They'll spray the atmosphere with like various chemicals and things to keep people in a trance-like state. Another thing is the food. The food's been genetically modified, GMOs, especially by the company Monsanto, which is known to spray pesticides that are harmful, basically through the food. So the food is poisoned, the water is poisoned, right? The air that you breathe is essentially poison, and that's what keeps people in that trance-like state. And essentially, it takes a lot for people to kind of get out of that mind control. And most people, how they do it is either through spirituality or psychedelics, mushrooms, LSD, DMT, peyote, ayahuasca. Those are all things that open up your pineal gland, usually through force. And so with most people who have tried those things, that's why the 60s was so like beneficial, and it was a turning point in society and in humanity as well, because there was a mass amount of people doing those psychedelic drugs, because LSD was created in a lab, and unfortunately it got out into the public. I wouldn't say unfortunately, because I feel like it did actually help people awaken. And that's why in the 60s there were so many movements as far as like human rights, women's rights, people actually fighting for each other in humanity, because they were able to wake up from that trance-like state. Why? Because of psychedelics. That's why psychedelics and all of those things were made illegal after that point in time, to be able to control the population. So everything ties in together in a very strategic way. Let's get another card. That way we can get some additional messages. Look, we have channel your knowledge. So a lot of the people that are watching, you basically know things that you don't understand why you know it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your gifts. But a lot of people, like, they have certain knowledge and they don't understand where it comes from. And if you try to basically speak out this knowledge, they're just going to call you like a conspiracy theorist or tell you that you're crazy. But then years down the line, months down the line, what you say turns out to be real, or it plays out in the same way that you described it. And either they call you a witch or a seer or an oracle. But a lot of you have like knowledge and wisdom that you're supposed to pass out into the population, and that's what's going to help people wake up, because you're going to activate people to know that they do have those strengths within themselves, and that they're capable of doing a lot more than what is entailed. But to have this knowledge, like, you need to be able to ground yourself. You have to be able to go outside, get sunlight, be around nature. Those are kind of like the only things that are buffer zones for like the toxicity that's kind of put out into the universe. Watch what you're basically, programming happens a lot with TV, with movies. Predictive programming happens in movies as well. So all the things that they show you, it's already been done. So from what I mean is, like, you have to be able to channel the knowledge that you have, whether it's through writing a book, writing it down. If you don't want to tell anyone, just write it down in a book or a sheet of paper or a journal, and keep it with you, because that knowledge is going to have it's basically special. Like there's certain keys and certain things that only you have access to, and it's going to take you to be able to get that information out, because some people don't have the balls to do that, or they're afraid, or they fear being, you know, ridiculed or outcasted. I, for one, don't care. Like, I will tell you exactly what the world is like. And that's exactly why they shadow ban me, because I speak the truth. And I see it time and time and again, but I don't care. I know the level of protection that I have. I've had situations happen where government agencies have tried to come after me specifically for saying things that are true. And each time, all of their plans were thwarted at the last minute, at the last second, or there would be someone on the inside that would essentially try to guard or protect me. So you have to understand that the information that you have, it comes with protection. It's because you are somebody who is capable of like entailing that information to the public. So let's see. Critical judgment. What else do you need to know? Third eye vision. Yeah. You create your reality using your third eye, using your pineal gland. So if you decide to be in that woe is me, I'm a victim, all men are dogs, all women are hoes type of mentality, guess what? You're going to attract, every single man is going to be in that vibration. Every single woman is going to be in that vibration. So you have to essentially train your mind to not be in that woe is me mentality. And I had to test this out for myself. When I'm having a bad day, it's like everything just falls on me on top of it. And once I just try to look at things from a better perspective, like, yeah, I may have gotten a flat tire, but guess what? I still have a car. Like, I still have gas. At least I have funds to be able to pay for it. If you look at things from a half glass full perspective, I guarantee you within a week, you will see a shift in your life, a major shift. And with this third eye vision, it's like you create your own reality. If you've ever done psychedelics in any type of way, like, you will know, it's like you're kind of forced to see things from the universe's perspective, where you're just like a speck of dust in the cosmos and in the grand scheme of things. So those things that you may seem as like a big deal to you, it's really not. And remember, if you have phone, if you have Wi-Fi, you're doing so much than like 70% of the population of this planet. So you should really be grateful about where you're at, because things could be so much worse. So much worse. And if you really are serious about, you know, changing the world, about making the world a better place, you got to start with yourself. You got to start with tuning and fine-tuning your thought processes. And as you do that, everyone else is going to follow suit. You could quantum jump into a different realm from today till tomorrow. Like, things can literally change overnight. I have seen this for myself. I've seen certain things that like have just made me question reality. And I've even had to ask myself, like, am I crazy, or did that really happen? So everything's possible. It's just a matter of what you believe in. A lot of you have gifts. When you go to sleep, you astral travel into a different realm or into a different universe. And that's why a lot of the dreams that you have will feel real. And some of you will have like, it's not like a savior mentality, but you'll turn into something else in your sleep, and you'll go to a different realm where you're essentially helping other people. And you're actually doing it while you're asleep. That's why when you wake up at times, you could sleep 8 to 10 hours and you still wake up exhausted. It's because when you were asleep, you were literally doing like soul work, moving to different dimensions and connections, and taking that information that you've learned from that particular area and bringing it down into Earth and the 3D aspect. That's why like you wake up on certain days and you just have ideas to just start doing something out of nowhere. Guess what? Certain people get downloads at a mass level. It is a race as to who's going to get those downloads put out first. So sometimes when you get an idea and you feel like, and you get online and you see that idea was put out by someone else, and you'll be like, dude, like, I had that idea in my head. Like, why is it that this person's doing it? It's because you all simultaneously got that download at the same time. The only difference is that person beat you when it came to executing it. So it's really just a race of execution. That's all that separates us. The only thing that separates people, because we are all the same, right? The only difference is who's the one that has enough self-discipline to execute their goals and plans. Who's the one that's going to be consistent? Who's the one that's going to stick to their plan? Who's the one that's not going to allow their circumstances, whether external or internal, to essentially stop them from creating their goals or doing what's right? So let's see. What else you guys need to know? We have 8 of Cups, Temperance in reverse, the Hermit card, Queen of Cups, the Chariot, Five of Cups. All right, so now we're going to talk about the devil. We're going to talk about dark entities. Essentially, the devil is a spirit. It's not a particular person. And so whatever the spirit is has been following some of you since like childhood, where, or even through adulthood, where you break up with one person who's like narcissistic and demonic and abuses you, right? And you meet someone else and they somehow have that same energy signature, even though they're a completely different person. It's because you have a monitoring spirit around you. And that spirit just keeps jumping from one person to the other, to the other. Some of you, this started with your parents, where your parents may have made a pact, or maybe they were into, you know, Freemasonry or some sort of rich. You don't know what people do for money. Like, you really don't know at the end of the day, or for power, for prestige. And the devil sometimes tries to hijack people around you to stop you from progressing. So yeah, you'll have like a month or two where everything will go well, where things are going to go in your favor, and then all of a sudden people start acting weird. Your neighbor starts freaking out. Someone lashes out at you that's just like a stranger. You start having like these mishaps with your relationships. Your own friends start to turn on you, or they start to treat you differently. It's because at that moment, like, they're literally possessed. So someone that does not have control of their mind, people that have mental health issues, to me, this is just my opinion, I feel like if you have mental health issues, like, you're more susceptible to possession and just things coming in and out of you, because you do not have the strength and willpower to control your thoughts, to control your mind. I feel like people who are schizophrenic, yes, they may be labeled that in the 3D, but to me, they're able to hear or have access and tap into different realms, but they don't know how to necessarily process that information. So it just comes out as chaos, or it comes out as them talking to themselves, or when science, when science comes into the play, it kind of ruins a lot of things, or it kind of like demonizes people. But someone who is in control of their mind will not be hijacked. They will be able to see right from wrong. And if you're the type of person who will be easily swayed or can be bought simply for popularity, money, income, attention, like, those are the worst people to have around you, because they'll snake you out for the next bag. So if you know there's friends around you or people in your circle that are easily swayed by money, those are the type of people that you need to keep at a distance, because usually when you see murders and you see people getting harmed, it's not that they're just getting harmed by some random person. No, it's usually the people in their circle that turn on them for a specific price, or for some sort of, I don't know, beneficiary. And those of you that have suffered some sort of loss with the Five of Cups, is it really a loss or is it a lesson? The people that you have left behind, like, what exactly did they do for you? Like, what opportunities did they bring to you? What type of support did they bring to you? It's probably a blessing that you've lost so many people in your life, because at the end of the day, they were stopping you from progressing. They were taking from you more than what you were receiving in return. And the people that have lost you, like, they don't see your true value until in hindsight. It's not until you're not there anymore that all those psychic attacks start to hit them, because remember, we started with that energy signature card. So you come with a level of protection, so anyone that's around you gets that same protection as well. You maybe noticed, like, you walk into a room and everyone starts to be in a better mood, like, you shift the energy because of the fact that you're so high vibing. But those of you that feel sensitive, like around big crowds or around like toxic scenarios, like bars, from bars, to me, number one, those are demon dens. That's where the demons are at. They're in bars, low vibrational places, strip clubs, places like that, just because of like alcohol. Alcohol tends to be something that can like alter your mind state, which is why I feel like you should only do that in moderation. But anyone that drinks excessively, you will notice that some people will even black out, or they'll just do things that they don't remember. That's literally a sign of possession. So that's why you should always be careful. Everything that you do, you should only do it in moderation. Don't let it consume you, because there are people that are alcoholics and they try to drink simply to basically ease their pain, or because they don't want to self-reflect, or they're trying to essentially run from something, and they try to use the alcohol or even like the weed as like a coping mechanism. Speaking of weed, I mean, go ahead, smoke what you want, but there's something about this new weed out there, this legal weed, that just does not feel right. Like, you smoke it, and what does it do? It makes you paranoid. It makes you anxious. It makes you feel like you're literally going crazy. And it's because of the fact that it's being tampered with. It's being altered. Same thing with the mushrooms that are not the psychedelic mushrooms that are now legal. Yeah, it's legal, but there's definitely some alterations that's being done to it. So you should always be careful about what you're consuming. Basically, know who your dealer is, or know where you're getting your stuff from. Like, basically do research on the dispensary and find out, where do they get their, yeah. That's all I'm going to say, because for some reason I've just been noticing that about people. The vape pens, I'm highly against the vape pens, because I don't know if it's like the chemicals that are in it or what it is exactly, but I feel like it's way worse than just smoking regular weed. So if you're going to do that, stick to the leaf, stick to the stuff that's grown. Do not, under any circumstances, start smoking vapes, because I guarantee you're going to see a shift in your behavior. You're going to see a shift in your health. It's probably going to take more money out of you. It's going to put you in a more addictive state, because remember, you're getting like a more concentrated percentage of THC. And at that same time, like, it could be artificial. It could be Delta 8 or Delta 9. It's probably not even. So anytime they make something legal, there's a reason behind it, and please pay attention to it. So with the Eight of Cups, you're going to be forced to walk away emotionally from a lot of people that really have no business being in your energy in the first place. This could even be parental figures. Queen of Cups sometimes to me could be like a shady mom, where a lot of you guys have had like, so if you have a parent, mother or father, that's been there for you, that's been supportive for you, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those toxic mother and father figures who basically try to use their kids as cash cows, who try to live through their children and have unrealistic expectations for their kids, and essentially like didn't teach their kids coping mechanisms. All they did essentially was provide the basics, like food, water, shelter, and they didn't give you any type of clues or even advice to get you through the world. And you had to grow up and essentially just get thrown into the world and just figure things out on your own. And at the same time, like, these mothers and fathers tend to be narcissistic. Like, they tend to basically like with the siblings, get siblings to be against each other, or just, if you're not providing something for this mom or this dad, they start acting funny. If you're not giving them money, if you're not doing errands for them, if you're not there being a listening ear, there's a lot of like emotional incest that I can see that goes on with people, like with their parental figures, where like sometimes even the mothers act like their sons or their husbands. Like, there's just a lot of like toxicity going on with parental figures, and that's also something that you almost need to kind of work through, because if you end up attracting a lot of toxic relationships, you kind of have to look back to the beginning. Like, what is your connection like with your parents? Like, what type of dynamic did you see your parents having? What kind of relationships did you see your mom getting into, and how did that affect you? Did you try to mimic those same traits? Did you try to essentially like have the same type of partners? Because yeah, with the Six of Pentacles, that's what I'm seeing. It's like people have barely been giving you like the bare minimum. The bare minimum when it comes to certain things, when it comes to relationships, like not giving you what it is that you deserve. Because with justice, it's like whatever's been going on in your life has been unjustified. You deserve a lot more than what it is that you've been getting, and you essentially have to pave that way with yourself. If you don't respect yourself, no one is going to respect you. It starts with, what are you tolerating? Because if you didn't tolerate it, they wouldn't be able to cross you at the end of the day. Like, yes, no one's perfect. You can be blindsided. You can be tricked. People can play the part for months, literally months, before you even realize like a fraction of who they are. I believe it takes about 3 years before you truly get to know who someone is. And for someone who's narcissistic, for people that are good actors, they can act like they're your best friend. They can act like they love you, they care for you, they have good intentions. And then as soon as they have you locked down, as soon as your guard is down, they literally strike like the snake that they are, which is why you should be careful. Like, take the time to get to know people. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially if you're single. Like, don't put your eggs in one basket unless it's like been discussed. Unless you don't let anyone make you feel pressured or rushed. Like, do things at your own pace when you feel comfortable. We have the Seven of Wands, Five of Cups. Yeah, you have to basically defend yourself against depression. So the thing with highly empathic beings, like depression and sadness and anxiety, is something that you constantly have to fight not to be in. I mean, yes, you could have bad days. Everyone has bad days. But at the same time, it's like certain things trigger you to be in this energy. Or you could be someone who's like extremely sensitive. So you go out in big crowds and you're attracting all the negative energy that people have. Certain people want to touch you, they want to touch your hair, they want to shake your hand, they want to just rub on you for no reason. It's because your energy is like this light. They can't help themselves. You're like a moth to a flame, essentially, and that's why I feel like you attract so many dark people, because your energy is so bright that people can't help it. It's like you also blind certain individuals. You blind them with your light. You blind them with the things that you have done for yourself by working on yourself, by healing your wounds. This is how you increase your frequency, by putting good foods into your body, making sure you're eating fruits and vegetables, making sure you're eating things that are grown, not processed, especially in the US with the high fructose corn syrup and the chemicals that you can't even pronounce in every single foods, and foods that are banned in other countries. But for some reason, like the FDA will just pass things that are just like completely harmful and not even okay. Those people that got vaccinated, here's the thing with the vaccinations, that I didn't get vaccinated. I didn't care who told me what. My whole entire family basically got the shot. I refused to the very end. Like I did everything to possibly not get vaccinated, and it was because like I knew they were pushing out that experimental disease way too quickly. Like there was not even enough time for trials. And what I've noticed is that the people that are getting sick, most of them at this current time, most of them are vaccinated. So I feel like it's something that was essentially deteriorating your immune system that you already had. Now, if your body was strong enough to where you were able to fight it off, then you'll most likely be okay. But if you were taking 1, 2, 3, 4 boosters, like, oh my God, I can't even. And then now they're coming out with articles saying like, we didn't force you to do that, or we didn't know. And the whole time they knew what they were doing. They were experimenting on the population to essentially see like how gullible can the population be? Like how far can we get these people to be to do what it is that we tell them to? And if you didn't, hey, that's just how resilient you are. And for some people, I understand, like you had jobs and you had certain situations that made you have to do it, but I'm just completely against it all. Like I can see it all and I'm just like, nope, not me. So with the Sun card, you essentially expose a lot of dynamics. That's why people don't like to have you around, because they know that you're a truth teller. They know that you could whistleblow their whole operation. They know that when you open your mouth, people get nervous when you open your mouth, because they don't know what's going to come out of there. This could be even you as a child, where your parents had to basically control and tame you, because every time you open your mouth, you just say something outlandish. And it's not even that you were trying to be hurtful or harmful. You would just say what it was. And it rubs people the wrong way, because people like to live in delusion and lies and trickery. And when they have a real person come around, people say that they want truth, but they really don't. Because when you tell them the truth, what do? They get offended. They start acting weird. Then they start victimizing themselves. Then they want to distance themselves from you. And it's like, but I thought you wanted the realness, but I thought you wanted the truth. But now that you have the truth, what? They shun you, they outcast you. When it comes to friend groups, like they may even like speak ill against you behind your back, or make slick comments, backhanded comments, and backhanded compliments. And it's because it's all rooted in like jealousy. At the end of the day, it goes back to people knowing who it is that you are and your vibration. It's like you don't even have to say anything. Some of you walk around and you get stared at. Like just going to the grocery store, you get stared at. People just stare at you for no reason. Like they just see you as like alluring, and they don't understand why. On a spiritual and a subconscious level, they do not understand why they are so addicted to your energy. And it's because like you're unlike anything around. You essentially shift the vibration of the places that you're in. You may have been strategically placed in the city that you're at, because you may be like the only earth angel and light worker within 20 miles. You get into a plane, and that plane is going to be protected simply because of the fact that you're in there. So being around you is literally a privilege, and they try to make it seem like it's the other way around. And the other people are privileged and that you should be grateful. And it's really just like reverse psychology. So please remember that. When people try to make it seem like you're crazy, like, no, they're actually the ones that are not seeing things for what it is. And they only call you crazy because you see the things that they cannot. And it's not until months down the line, I can't tell you how many times someone has been like, D, what you said years ago played out. And I just have to be like, yeah, I know. It's because I already know. I've already done this life thing many times. Like, I'm just here to essentially guide and awaken you people. But, you know, no one likes know-it-all. No one likes the person that has all the answers. And unfortunately, you have to essentially have discernment to know, like, who is worth you having their back, like who's worth you opening your mouth for them, who's worth you actually giving them advice, because some people are not willing to take advice. They don't want advice. They want to do what they want peacefully. They don't want to know what they do wrong. They don't want to grow. They don't want to succeed. They want to stay stagnant in their toxicity because that's what makes them happy. They would rather be toxic and have an entourage and have people around them than be alone and not have friends and not have people in their circle. Some people like have no sense of self-direction, or they don't even know who they are themselves. So they'll just like chameleonize and morph into whatever it is that society wants them to be. That's why they'll follow trends so easily. Like, that's why they'll fall so much into whatever it is that's given to them, because they're followers, like, and you're a leader, and that's just how it goes. You lead the pack, so your back's to them. Nobody likes the boss. Like, I had to come to this realization so many years ago because I couldn't understand why certain things would happen. And it's like one day it all just clicked to me. And so same thing with you. Understand your power. Don't let anybody gaslight you into feeling like you are not the one, because you are. You're the chosen one in some way. You could be the chosen one in your family who's there to break generational curses. And you're meant to do something that's completely outlandish that they may feel like is impossible. You can essentially do anything that you want as long as you put your mind to it. And I know that it's so cliche to say, but I am like a true testament of this, because with my family, everyone's in the health industry, everyone's nurses, doctors, whatever. And I'm the only person doing tarot working from home. And in the beginning, it was laughable, right? But now that I'm making the same amount of money at home, doing what I want when I want, and they have to go out there and work for Big Brother and get all their taxes taken, that's when they come and realize like, oh, okay, she knew what she was talking about. So at times it's like people aren't going to follow suit until you've already paved the way, until you're already successful. That's when they're going to believe in you. So you essentially have to do things on your own. You have to basically pave the way on your own and know that you will be caught. The divine, your ancestors, God will essentially catch you. The only way that doesn't happen is if you're a bad person. You steal, you lie, you hurt people intentionally. That's when bad karma comes for you. And for some people, it takes a while. Some people have a strong connection to, you know, dark forces, to the devil. So all of their bad intentions, all of their negative deeds come with some sort of rewards. But guess what? That protection, it comes with an expiration date. You see what happened to Diddy. He got away with so much for so long, but now everything has just come full circle and he's losing everything. Endorsements. He's losing like protection. Like, I don't know who that man pissed off or which contract expired. So whoever it is that gets away with doing ill things, like, it does not go on for long. I promise you. Everyone gets what it is that they deserve at the end of the day. And with the sun, you just have to continue to be who you are. Like, don't let anybody make you dim your light. Some of you have like a strong connection to like pyramids, whether it's the ones in Egypt, Mexico, anything like that. Like, you'll know. You have a strong connection to even like the Egyptian bloodline. It essentially just depends on what it is that you believe in. So let's see. What else do you need to know? We have Celtic. Yeah. Your way of living is like seen as completely different than what is a societal norm. You may be the type of person who's like I said, a loner. You intake information on your own. You're not somebody who is like, you're a seasoned person. Like, yes, you have experience through trauma that you had to go through, but you're not the type of individual who is easily swayed. Like, if you want to know the truth, you will dig that information on your own. You do not listen to gossip. Yeah, you may listen to what's being said, but you're not going to make decisions based off of gossip. Like, you want to know what type of person an individual is by getting to know them on your own. That's why they don't like you. They don't like you because you don't do what they do. Some people feel like, oh, he or she feels like she's better than us. That's why they do the things that they, and that's not even the case at all. It's just that you're different. You operate differently. The same things that people desire are not the same desires that you have. Your desire probably involves helping others or getting to a point of where you're successful so that your success can help others as well. It really just depends. Some people think you're a gatekeeper, like you have information and you won't give it to them, and it's like, why should you? Like, yeah, man, I will gatekeep. I am such a gatekeeper. Like, if I feel like I don't need to give you certain information, like, yeah, I know the answer, but I'm not going to give it to you. I will let you figure it out on your own, because for what? Like, I'm not obligated to do anything. It took me so long to get to the point of where I received all this knowledge and wisdom just for me to give it away to somebody else who's not deserving is another thing. Like, through tarot, this is essentially one of my passions. Like, I enjoy helping people so that they can be able to help themselves, and it can continue as a domino effect. But like, people who feel entitled to my energy, it just like turns me off. Like, I can't even describe it beyond. And people will go far to basically get access to your energy. I can't tell you how many people I've blocked, and regardless of me blocking them, they'll still make fake accounts. They'll still try to reach out. They'll still try to contact you. Partners that you've let go of, yeah, while they were with you, they may have acted like they were discontent, or like, you know, you weren't for them, or that you weren't enough. So yeah, let them go out there and see exactly what's out there. Let them see exactly what is out there with the dogs. And once they go through all their options and literally see that most people ain't shit, that's when they come through this realization and they have this epiphany, like, wow, I really had it so good. Like, let me go back to the person that fed into me and made my life easier. Nope. Nope, can't circle back over here. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So that's the end. Bye.